raised with a mother who was an artist.
I've always enjoyed
Okay, my inspiration, my blood.
project.
We're going to go ahead and use the Kennedy book today. Fell in love with this little book. And one of the reasons I did is because when you pull the back of it, it flips out. The accordion is actually in the spine, which makes it kind of innovative and new. When we do that, we're going to go ahead and use pieces from the Marquee line and Gala line. And the great thing about this line is it was really designed after home interior. Another thing we're going to use today is the chipboard from my collection. Wonderful thing about these chipboard packages is the paint doesn't sink in. There are over 50 pieces, different chipboard shapes in each package. So it's great for your regular rubber stamping ink too, because it also sits across the top. This chipboard was designed for the Bare Elements collection itself. One of the first things I like to do is start with creating my embellishments first. Our chipboards, both from the Bare Elements collection and then from my own collection, have kind of a smooth, somewhat of a glossy surface. One of the things I want to show is how fast that this process is. So when you're working with the alcohol inks, you just put several drops on. I like to mix my colors. Just kind of smoosh it over. We're just going to kind of blend together to use as your embellishments. If you use more red, you can just go to town and do red. What's nice is the inside is glossy, which means, and you saw how fast the alcohol ink dries, which means we can essentially paint each page and have it dry in less than 5 minutes. Ink again. This time I'm going to use a series of browns, and I'm using the same pad that we used before. Had a little red in it. Easy as rubbing it across the entire page. So, right onto it. One of the things that I realize every single time I do these books or any project is that, especially when you're working with inks and paints, you can't always get the edges perfect. So the best way to solve that is to go ahead and run a piece of trim right along that edge, which gives it a nice clean finish feel. The colors don't match. This collection is designed on how it feels. So basically, imagine if you're decorating the inside of your house. So the cover is actually 3 pieces, made pre-cut. Very important not to put adhesive here. Imagine this as like a hardcover book. My favorite adhesive happens to be this Kikuyu now. For a lot of reasons. One is it's very easy. Have Kikuyu will travel. And the other reason is it has the ability for you to move it around for the first few minutes that you put it down. If you messed up, you could actually lift it up and fix it. A strip of adhesive, about a ½ inch in from my front spine, maybe a little bit more. And most important is to line it up so it's straight, top to bottom. Create my fold. Notice there's no adhesive here. I want no, absolutely none. Handmade, which is half the beauty of doing this. Okay, and there's a little bit of excess. I do that on purpose just because of that same reason. The folds may not always be perfect. Like this, I can't even grab a scissor these days. And we'll just go ahead and trim off the extra. Or they go ahead and sand whatever's left so that your edge is perfect. Piece it right down here. You want to create a little bit of contrast and a little bit of trim. It's kind of like... for me, for putting down the chipboard, probably the easiest thing to use is glue dots or zots, or so crapping and blurring. It's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and place it down. Get several dots on there. You want the bird to feel like he's just setting down on the branch. So we're going to put him kind of up here, a little bit off the branch, a little bit on the book. I used to buy vintage pieces and parts of broken jewelry and then reassemble it into something new, basically, and then use new findings. Off it would go. The whole idea behind the brads that I developed was the idea that they could be layered, so that 24 packs of brads could make hundreds of different possibilities. They're all made so that you can layer them right inside. Make sure you splay your brad completely out and even tucking it up under the petal. That way it's nice and flat, and you want to go ahead and put it on the book. And then to finish it up here, I went ahead and found a little black Swarovski crystal to put for his eye. Give it a little bit of glitter. As this, it's kind of hard to understand when you open it that it's an accordion book. So one of the things I like to do, especially if I'm going to give the book as a gift, is put a pull tab on the very last page. We're going to go ahead and put a small hole right in the center of the knob. Go ahead and just put a hole right here. Approximately an inch, a little over an inch, at the center of the page. Through the flower, through the chipboard, and finally through the page. We're going to use the decor swatch book, which is awesome because it has over 100 designs in it. As you go through, you can see I used a few. There's just plenty to look at. And don't be afraid to cut pieces and parts. I think F, which stands for flyer. The three girls in this photograph we're using. Rub-ons usually come with popsicle stick. However, I don't know anybody who draws or writes or does anything with a popsicle stick except for eat a popsicle. Go ahead, peel it up. Have an album so thick it would be open all the way. You'd never have a chance to close it. Saw earlier how we used the glue dots to put the flowers in the front of the book. I don't really want to poke a hole in it, especially these big flat brads. And just go ahead and flatten it out and use your glue dot again. Right here is just like we did on the front cover of the book, layering in them and then some knot with the glue dots, creating a little cluster. It's a great little brag book. I hope you enjoyed the project. Thank you for spending time and hanging out with me today. What? Okay, I'm ready. Hopefully this project leaves you inspired. You know, one of our favorite things, both as an artist and as a company for Creative Imaginations, we love to see what you make or how your take on our products are. There's nothing quite like seeing the actual product in action.
I was raised with a mother who's an artist.
I've always enjoyed
Who's an artist.
Okay, my inspiration
my book.
project was